I'm going to tell you this about this offense, and let me know what y'all think. The Kyle Shanahans of the world, the Sean McVays of the world, the Matt LaFleur's, all of these offenses is a mix of Mike Shanahan's running game and Mike Martz offense with the greatest show on turf.
I can see that. I never thought of it that way, but I can see that kind of thing with the way it's created.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
That's what it is.
That's a very good analogy.
Marks never gets the credit. He never gets the credit as a coach. Yeah. He never does. I don't know. I don't know. I remember when he took over for the Rams, and he really rebuilt that offense, and they were still one of the high prolific offenses in the NFL, and Mike Marks never got credit for any of the offenses that he put out there, and some of the top 5, top 6 offenses in all of the NFL.
Even
I don't
the first
understand
couple
why.
Years in Chicago, he was good too with Matt Forte.
I don't understand.
Musa Muhammad and all those guys. He was pretty good making that offense, because the Bears are always known for their defense, but their offense was always below average.
It never made any sense why he never got credit.
And that was Mike Martz coming over there too, and Matt Forte was a rookie.
Didn't he have Didn't he have a problem with a player on the field? There was somebody that he had problems with on and off the field, and that's why he got fired from Chicago. Was it Chicago? I don't remember the whole story, but
was Brandon there yet?
I'm sorry.
Was Brandon in Chicago yet?
Brandon Marshall was there later. He was with he was with you the one year, and then he came I think a year before you did in Chicago, because he was in Miami.
I'm trying to remember.
He was with Miami before that. It was Bernard Berry and Musa Muhammad were the receivers.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And then Forte was the running back. And
I don't remember what player he had a problem with, but I remember on and off the field there was something going on, and so
that's why he got fired, because of that?
I think so. I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that, but I could look that up. That's something that I remember something happened, I think, with the Bears. I think it was with the Bears. It was either the Bears or the Rams on why he lost his job, but there was something going on, and he was obviously fired or he was in a lot of trouble from it. But I don't remember exactly what happened. It was a long time ago. I mean, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old.
March was with Chicago from like 2008 to 2010, so it would have been sometime in that stretch. And like you were saying, Josh, it wasn't that was the time with Brandon Marshall at the time. He came a little later. He was a teammate with you, obviously, with Alshon Jeffrey and Jay Cutler. That was that whole group.
That would have
been that was that coach.
Mark Trestman. Yeah, Trust was that guy, man. I thought that was going to be a Super Bowl team, because when I got to Chicago, I was telling everybody put their money on us. I was like, because we had the same team. The only new guy was me. And the only person that left
you had the biggest mouth wide receivers in all of the NFL on one team. Are you kidding me? Brandon Marshall, I love the guy. I met him. One of the funniest people you'll ever meet. That guy never shut the hell up, man. I was at the Super Bowl. I'll never forget it. I was over there at Radio Row, and I hear this guy screaming all the way on the other side of the Radio Row, and I'm like, who the hell is that screaming? It's Brandon Marshall. He's screaming on the other side of Radio Row because he saw somebody he hasn't seen in like 10 years, and everybody's doing a radio show, and Brandon Marshall doesn't give a hell. I'm going to tell you. And he's screaming on the top of his song, yo, and I'm looking around like, who the hell is this guy? And it's Brandon Marshall, 6'3", 230-pound guy running up and down like he was playing football again.
All led by Jay Cutler at quarterback.
Alshon Jeffries also had a big mouth too, man. That guy knew how to yap his mouth. Yeah,
he ain't really started talking till Philly for real.
Hey, he backed it up though.
He
Philly,
did,
which I was surprised at, because I wasn't sure at the time, like that kind of transition when he first left the Bears, because he was dealing with a lot of injury issues too. Towards
he
the
won
end
a
of
Super
Chicago
Bowl over there in Philly.
He was great in that Super Bowl too. Yeah. Go ahead, Josh. What you were saying?
Talking that.
Yeah, and I remember because he was getting a big contract with the Eagles at the time. They lost all those receivers. They traded a bunch of them away when Chip Kelly got fired. Then the whole front office really just undid everything.
Brendan Marshall.
In 2 years.
I'm just sitting here right now and just thinking of Brendan Marshall right now. That guy was some personality. I'm sure you have stories about him. He is one of the craziest people I have. His podcast is one of the best podcasts right now in the country. And I could only imagine. I never listened to it, but I could only imagine how crazy he is on that podcast. He has some personality.
No, he be calm on there.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, he be calm on there. I think that had a lot more to do with football. You know what I'm saying? I think now that he retired, he been chilling.
That was quite a bunch, though. You had those two receivers, and then you have your great quarterback leader.
And then we still had Martellus Bennett, who was a character.
Yes, I forgot about him, too.
Martellus,
he liked to fight everybody. He would fight his own teammates. He'd fight his coaches. He'd fight anybody. I remember when he was on the Patriots, he fought his whole offensive line. I mean, that guy, he's tough. Him and his brother, two big behemoths, man. Those guys.
I remember him with the Bears because I remember the Giants had him that one year and he was great, and then they let him go for whatever reason, and then he kept striving with you guys in Chicago.
His brother, he was a good defensive player on Seattle. He was a big part of that.
He was a good defensive player even before that on Tampa, too. He was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you played with some interesting players, man.
And Jay Cutler, a quarterback, to round it all out.
Oh, my God, Jay Cutler. Oh,
that
my
was
God.
a movie.
Oh, my God,
That
Jay
was
Cutler.
a movie. Him and Brandon in the locker room every day.
Oh, my God.
Oh man, that was a movie.
You know what's so funny? Excuse me, I'm trying to heal from this bronchitis. When I watched him and his wife on Entertainment, Jay Cutler, the Cutler family. I don't remember what the show was called, but they lived on a ranch. He has horses. I never realized the personality Jay Cutler, because he looked so boring. Whenever he spoke to the press, I'm like, this guy is the most boring quarterback. I couldn't imagine.
For the memes, though.
I couldn't imagine sitting in a circle when he's calling a play and saying, "Okay, guys, EH83 down the field, blah 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 blah. Let's go, break." And he goes out there, and I'm like, what? I mean, like, what the hell? I mean, like, he just looks like a boring guy. There's nothing. And then I watch the show, and I'm like, this guy's got some personality. I could only imagine what he did in the locker room. He looks like a guy that would play tricks on people and, tie your underwear up, in the shower and wet all your underwear. I mean, he's that type of person, but you would never know because he was so damn boring to the press. He was hated by everybody, and everybody thought that Brandon Marshall hated him.
Nah, he hated the press. He knew the press was just trying to get something and eat him alive. He hated the press, but it was a fun locker room. It was a frustrating locker room, but it was fun because you look around and you see all that talent, and you're like, damn, and we ain't win shit.
Jay Cutler's facial expressions at least made all the memes look good, though.
I could only remember Brandon Marshall when I asked him a question. I was like, "Do you remember your time with the Bears?" He says, "I don't want to remember my time with the Bears." And I say, "Do you want to remember the time with the Dolphins?" He's like, "I don't want to remember the time with the Dolphins." I was like, "What do you want to remember the time with?" "Well, I like my time with the Broncos."
Until him and Shanahan got into it.
Oh man!
You want to go random quarterbacks? Kyle Orton, the quarterback of that team.
Oh, wow!
Yeah. What a personality that guy is, man! Oh my God! I've interviewed a lot of artists when it comes to music and athletes.
Yeah.
For some reason, every time I think of Brandon Marshall, I think of crazy, nutty, and has a crazy smile. That guy doesn't stop smiling, and you don't know what he's smiling about. He just smiles.
I get nervous.
I have no idea. I don't think he put a frown on his face when I was asking him a question. I mean, the guy had a smile that'll light up a building. Okay,
Definitely.
and he's an interesting personality. I always thought he would be great for radio. I always thought he would, personality-wise, he would fit. He could work with anybody. But I never got a chance to listen to his podcast, but everybody tells me it's a must listen to because of who he is as a person and the stories that he tells. So
it's the locker room, and I think that's what makes it the best because it's literally like people having real conversations in the locker room, and you just got cameras right there. Real stories, real conversations, and I mean, think about it, man. We done seen some shit. We done been through some shit, the more you got to think, most of us, we've been successful our whole lives. So you done seen the best of the best, and we came from the worst.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a lot of stories to tell, and a lot of I'm happy because a lot of what's being said needs to be heard. We used to say it all the time in the locker room. We used to be like, man, back then it was just always, man, what if Hard Knocks was in here right now filming this, man? This would be a hit.
Hard Knocks, we all used Bears.
That was before this social media frenzy and social media went crazy. But, man, it needs to be heard, man. So I'm definitely happy he's doing it, and I hope he continues to keep it up.
Hard Knocks saw the 2014 Bears. They were like, you guys might be too crazy for us.
Oh, that would have been funny. That would have been funny.
Well, Josh, we really appreciate your time, as always. We'd love to get you on again. You're a great personality. You're a great guy. Keep up the good work. You're a person that is a family man. You giving a kidney to your brother just shows you that you're a family man. And like I said, get healthy. Keep up the good work. We'll reach out to you soon. I would love to get you back on again.
One more thing, Josh. Is that your is that your family in that painting in the background too?
Yeah. That's my grandmother, man. She this about to be my first Christmas without her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry for your loss, man.
Yeah, she a Christmas baby. Yeah, my brothers, my cousin, everybody. That's my grandmother and all her first grandchildren.
You know what? You know what I'm going to do for you, because I'm a nice guy. I'm going to send you a cartoon picture of me, and you could put me right behind there. You could put me right behind there. That would be right.
Grandma lap.
Yeah, there you go. You put my head on Grandma's lap. What a sight that would be. Be like, that's a great portrait. Who's that head on Grandma's lap? Oh, man, John. Anyways, Josh, you're awesome. We really appreciate your time, as always. Keep up the good work. Like I said, you're a good guy, and we're looking to get you on again very, very soon.
Definitely, man. Let's do it.